Hey guys, what's up? So you seem to like my Optavia review, so I'm giving you another Optavia video about my favorite fuelings and some tools I use on the Optavia plan. So let's get into it. Okay, so before I go into work, I just wanted to go over some of my favorite fuelings and just some tools I have that I keep with me for the Optavia things. So the first one I have is this Cinnamon Crunchy O's cereal. I like this one, but even though it's cereal, you don't have to put the almond milk with it. So most of the time, I'll just eat this like as a snack, just right out of the bag. You don't need milk. And I also like it because the bag's pretty full, so it's not like one of those bars where you eat it and then it's just gone. So it lasts a little while. Another fueling I like is this one. It's the cinnamon sugar sticks. For this, it's a texture and a taste. It's really good. And it's not as full as this one, but it does last a while. It's not like, you know, the snack is so small, it's just gone in an instant. And I have some allergies going on, so apologies. It's a seasonal thing. Next, I have this frothy cappuccino mix. This one's really good. It's got caffeine in it, and you can mix it with your coffee, or you can just have it right out of the bag. And the way I mix it up, I'll show you in a second. But this one's really good. Another favorite I have is the wild strawberry shake. This one's really tasty, and I mix it up in a blender that I'll talk about in a second, but it's really good, and it doesn't taste like the cheap medicine-y kind of strawberry taste. It tastes really refreshing. I really like it. Okay, I haven't tried all the bars, but all the bars I have tried, I like all of them. There's a really tiny bar. I'll insert a picture of it somewhere, but I think it's a peanut butter with chocolate chips in it. The thing is like so tiny. It tastes good, but I would prefer to have a fueling that's a little bit larger than like a super tiny one, because to me the taste, if they both taste good, I would just rather have the one that's a little bit bigger. Okay, but my favorite bar is the Campfire S'mores Crisp Bar. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, anyway, this one I think is the best one. It tastes good, and it has, it's got little bits of marshmallows in it. Okay, and then I'm out of them, but for the savories, my favorites are the mashed potatoes. There's two different kinds. There's like a sour cream one, and then another one, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll insert a picture somewhere. But the mashed potatoes is really good. I can't think of another savory one that I like as much as the mashed potatoes. I wish there was another soup. If there's another soup other than the chicken noodle soup, I'll try that one. But I didn't care for the mac and cheese or that chili thing. And the I don't go off of the instructions on all of those. I kind of eyeball it most of the time, because a couple of times I burned my chili thing when I was following the directions. So, just saying that. Okay, now for the tools that I use. Okay, so number one is this water bottle. And everything I got from Amazon. Not sponsored or anything, but you can probably find most of the stuff in Walmart or something. But I got a water bottle, and it's a gallon size, so I try and drink like a gallon a day. And I do like the times on it. That's a plus. But what really gets me to like drink a lot of this water is this kind of straw. So it's not like one of those regular circle straws. It's actually, and it's rubber. It's like, it's not like that hard plastic straw. So it's comfortable to drink out of. But I didn't know that until I got it, and I was like, wow, I'm drinking water really fast. Oh, it's got to be the straw. It's really easy to use. So another thing I'm sure you've probably seen already everywhere is a tiny waffle maker. It's super tiny, and I keep this one at work with me. But what's easy about it is you can play with the mashed potatoes and the brownies. That's another favorite, like that brownie. I'm out of those two, and the chocolate pudding. Brownie, the chocolate pudding. I'll try and insert pictures, but I like those. Those are really good too. On the back of the pouches, it doesn't give you instructions for using a waffle maker. That's something that Optavia users kind of just created for themselves. And you really have to play with the texture and what you're putting in with it. Some people add an egg, but then you have to, subtract that from like your lean and green stuff. I've only used it maybe 3 times because it takes longer to make it that way than with just in the microwave. But I do like it better that way. You just have to, spend the time to do it that way. Anyway, so at work and at home, I keep these disposable bowls, and you can get smaller ones than this, but it makes it really easy to put your Fuelings in here. I put my mashed potatoes in here. If I'm doing any of the other savory ones that I'm not a fan of, I'll put them in here, especially the chili. And for that chili thing, I'm just going to make myself finish them. But what I do to like spice it up is I add extra water, and I just watch the texture, and I just watch it in the microwave so I don't burn it. And then sometimes I'll add the sour cream and some cheese to it and, deduct it from my lean and green stuff. But that's how I kind of make it palatable, and it tastes better that way. Okay. At work, I also keep these disposable forks and spoons. And for some of the Fuelings, it's easier to stir up with a plastic spoon or a plastic fork. But at work, it's definitely easier with all these, because you're eating so many times a day, to get something disposable while you're doing this plan. Otherwise, if I'm just when I was bringing regular lunch, I would bring reusable Tupperware and silverware. But since we're eating every 2 to 3 hours, it's just easier to get disposable stuff. Another thing you may have seen on TikTok or YouTube or something already is the whisks. So these tiny whisks make mixing up the Fueling so much easier, especially the pudding, and not necessarily the mac and cheese because it's kind of clumpy, but anything that's more liquidy, it's easier to use these whiskuses than spoons because you're dealing with a tiny amount, right? So you want to use like the tiny silverwares. And this came with a pack of like tiny tongs and spatulas, but I just use these whisks. I keep one at work and I keep one at home. Something you may not have seen on YouTube or TikTok yet, but these measuring cups, so this is a 1 cup measuring cup, and I use this to measure my water or milk, almond milk, but I keep one at work and I keep one at home. And it came with a set of, more measurements, but you really only need a cup. And from there, you can, if you got to do like 2/3 cup or half cup or 1/4 cup for some reason, you can use that. But yeah, so I keep a 1 cup at work and home. Next, and finally, you may not have seen these things. I keep these smaller measurement devices at work and at home, but you really only need the 1 tablespoon. From there, you can, maybe if you want to use a half tablespoon too, or half teaspoon, but you really only need the 1 tablespoon measurer. So I keep 1 at work and 1 at home. So the thing you may not have realized already is you only need this 1 tablespoon. So if you can find it somewhere, maybe at the dollar store, that's really the only one you need. And then another thing you may not have found out yet is the type of blender you use, or the mixer. So I had a really cheap mixer blender, and I'll insert a picture of it. This one did not crush up ice really well. I think I saw it on someone else's video, and I'm sure it would be good if you just had, water or water in the Fueling. But if you have ice in there, and my ice maker doesn't do crushed ice, just cubed ice, so it had a hard time messing with that. So I doubled down, y'all, and I got this Ninja blender. I'll insert a picture here. So I have this Ninja blender, and it came with 2 cups, like a big one and a small one. And I usually use the big one for shakes, and I'll just dump like a ton of water and ice in it, and then the fueling, and then it feels more like a meal than just a tiny little fueling. That's another reason why I like the shakes, is you can make it as big as you want to. Yeah, the flavor, like the more you add water and ice, like the flavor will be diluted, but you just have to find that balance of getting full or satisfied and the taste. The last one, I'm sure you've seen this a lot already, is this one. It mixes up, it's like got batteries in it, and it comes with like a little holder. I was on the fence about getting this because I didn't think I really needed it, but the best use for this I found is mixing up the cappuccino shakes. So not like the milk shakes, like the strawberry shakes, chocolate shakes, but if you just want to mix up like the actual fueling with liquid, no ice, this is the thing to use. A lot of people use it with their coffee, so sometimes, like a couple times, I'll add my cappuccino with my coffee and I'll mix it up with this because it's a lot of powder, that cappuccino one, and it mixes it up really good. I found that the one time I didn't use this, the fueling was like really clumpy in the bottom, so this is definitely a good, I'm glad I ended up getting this. And everything, like I said, I got everything on Amazon, but that's just because I didn't want to take a baby to Walmart or something, so, or the dollar store. Okay, I'm going into work now. Those are my favorite fuelings and some just tools I got to make the Optavia journey a little bit easier. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.